Welcome to my YouTube channel where we demonstrate and discuss everything related to theatrical and entertainment production crafts. Please subscribe to get the latest updates, posts, and demonstrations. While I will focus primarily on safety in the shops and comprehensive training and operating procedures for tools and machinery, I'll also demonstrate and discuss practical applications like flat and platform construction, scene painting, and more. If you'd like to see something specific, please let me know in the comments. Once again, please subscribe and power up the alert bell to get the most up-to-date notifications about new content. People still make claims that OSHA says that radial arm saws are outlawed in the US, that you can't sell them in the US, that you can't buy them, and they're bad and they're dangerous. And if you actually go to the OSHA website, it doesn't say they're banned or outlawed. It actually just gives you the safety features. And the safety features include 3 things. 1, the machine has to have a retractable guard of some kind. And this is a guard that lifts up over your material and automatically falls down. Now, these older machines, this 1958 DeWalt, did not come with a guard because they weren't required in 1958. So in order to make this OSHA compliant, I have to add a guard. Now, I can fabricate my own if I want, or you can buy one like this that has multiple lengths and it's sizable to various sizes of radial arm saws. This is the 9-inch diameter blade DeWalt, so I was able to make it work with this number of links. I think the other requirement of this is it needs to have this top shroud, and some older radial arm saws don't have the top shroud, or they've gone missing and they're just an exposed blade. So the blade needs to be covered, and the blade needs to have a automatically returning guard of some kind. Now, the leaf guard here is an older style. They are making a more solid version of this that comes up and down on newer machines these days, but the leaf guard is still considered a safety device that reminds you, keep your fingers out of the blade. You're coming too close to the blade. The other OSHA required safety device is the spirator, or the spring return. The machine has to automatically return. Well, geez. Why would someone do that? Why would they disconnect that? The machine also has to have a spirator, an automatic return. And that's so when you pull this, it automatically returns to its position. You can disconnect that for some tasks that aren't moving the carriage forward, such as if you're coming out here and you're putting a molding head on it, or you're doing a ripping cut, but that is required safety. Again, this machine did not come with one, so I had to get this aftermarket unit. And you can see this aftermarket unit is readily available. Catalog number 35026, DeWalt automatic return device. And I got this just a couple years ago, so they are available to add to your machine. And the third major component is that in order to be safe, your saw should not extend past the end of your table. Most of the tables that were made when they were originally made, including this one, the table is much too small. And if you just build yourself a table that fits on top of the metal table, you are potentially having an unsafe machine. So you need to build a larger table and extend it out so that the blade cannot extend past the end of the table. And that prevents the blade from being exposed past the table and presenting another point of contact with the blade. Those are really the 3 primary things that OSHA is saying you have to have on your radial arm saw. So if you have an older model that doesn't have any of those features, if it doesn't have the spring return, if it doesn't have the guard, if it doesn't have the top shroud, if its table is too small, you just need to fix those things, and now you are OSHA compliant with your radial arm saw. It's not inherently an unsafe machine any more unsafe than the table saw or the band saw or any of the large major power tools. You just need to know how to use it. You need to have your safety features in place, and you need to practice safe woodworking practices. Keep those thumbs out of the path of the radial arm saw. If your machine does come past the edge of your table and you have not modified your table, many of the newer machines have a stop block here. This can limit your travel of your saw. I can put that there, and now it limits my travel. And that helps put me into OSHA compliance with my machine. You can also just build yourself a bigger table. The whole practice of using the radial arm saw means you're constantly chewing up into your table and eventually having to replace it regularly, replacing your back fence. Those are common things that you have to do with your radial arm saw, especially if you start doing miter cuts and other things with it. We use this one pretty much exclusively for cross-cutting pine and plywood and smaller pieces of sheet goods. We don't do all of the other features. We don't raise it up and down. We don't do all the miter cuts. It's simply a larger capacity device for us. But you can see that this one is ready to have the masonite replaced. It's ready to have the table replaced. And when we do that, we'll probably extend this table another couple of inches just to give it that extra measure of safety. The fence has been used quite a bit. It's time for that to get upgraded. Those things you have to do regularly. It's part of your maintenance. It's not a build this table once and you're done. If you use it regularly, you have to replace your table regularly. And when you replace your table, make it the right size. Don't accept the tiny little table that came with your machine, especially if you have an older machine. And as you see, even with this one, the base of this is set way back in here and the arm comes all the way out to here. So I have to build a table bigger than the base of the machine. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with more technical theater content.